Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Virgo in mid-March 2020. What's going on, Virgo? How are you guys doing? I hope you are doing well. All right, Virgo, welcome to mid-March. Welcome back to the channel if you're returning. If you're a first-time viewer, you're also welcome here. Pretty much, sort of, kind of, welcome back to myself. For those who have been following me for a while, you may have noticed I took a little bit of a hiatus back during the Mercury retrograde that was going on in mid-February, which wrapped up on March 10th. I simply unplugged from my YouTube business for a while, still maintained some personals, but I just had to do some things personally, take care of some business, get into spiritual realignment, and really just really work on myself and think about some things. So I'm back now doing, my generals here on YouTube. So welcome to it. If you've been with me for a while, you will also notice that there's something a little bit different here. I did say mid-March messages, and you see before you a spread that is more familiar with just the overall monthlies that I do. So I totally had to, because of the hiatus that I went on, I had to totally ditch the overall March messages and just get straight to the mid-March. As you know, within a few days, I'm going to turn around and do messages for April as well. I've got things to do for Aries for their birthday season, and I'm still doing personals, and I'm still just living a regular life in the middle of all this sort of kind of chaos that we have going on in the world. So my condolences to anybody who is affected by the corona or COVID-19 virus that is going around, deemed a pandemic. Hopefully you're safe and you're secure and you're well. If not, again, my condolences and my sympathy to you and yours. And if you can, guys, just make sure that you're following all the guidelines and following all the suggestions. If you're told to stay home, I know that's difficult, especially for many people who are not able to work from home. So you're essentially laid off or on furlough, so to speak. So whatever's going on in your situation, I'm wishing the best for everybody, because, these are trying times. These are very trying times, okay? But let's go ahead and get on with the tarot. If you're just filling your days with stuff to watch on YouTube, thank you for choosing me. So let's get into it. Please show me Virgo's outcome. Oh, excuse me, I didn't even get into the whole spiel. Virgo, I have shuffled off camera. That is your main spread. Go shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. Timestamp is in the description box if you want to jump ahead. Also down there is the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. I might be changing that menu soon, so if if you've been hemming and hawing about, actually getting a reading, you might want to purchase it soon, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that just yet. Might be later on in like April or May. We'll see. Anyway, and also new information, my friends. I am on IG. I am on Instagram as EmpathicFire Tarot. So I pull daily oracle cards on there, give a little interpretation of what I'm feeling about the card. So if you're interested in following me over there, you can look right there. There will be a graphic right about here. And just go on over to IG and drop me a follow if you choose to. Again, that's EmpathicFire Tarot over on Instagram, okay? Now let's see that outcome. Please show me Virgo's outcome for mid-March 2020. Mid-March 2020 outcome for Virgo. Please show me. Okay, that's a lot. That's like 3. So, oh, it's 2? It's just 2? Then we shall look. What do we do with 2? We take 2? They say take 2. That's interesting. I think I had that come out for Taurus, a twofer, and I didn't take it, or I took part of it because I was just led to take part of it. But for you guys, they want me to take both. So we're going to take both. Just a slight adjustment to the layout. And count yourselves lucky, Virgo. I have not wanted to do doubles for a while, but you got one. So good for you. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. And let's go ahead and flip what came face down so we can see the whole entire picture of what's happening with you. What's happening, Virgo? All right, new camera, new setup, but I think that should all be in frame. I'm correct. Cha-ching. Okay, let's see. Please show me where Virgo is in mid-March 2020. Where is Virgo in mid-March 2020? Please show me. All right. Pretty easy. That's good. All right, Virgo, let's get into it. Coming in to mid-March, you come in with the energy of the Queen of Wands. Fire sign energy, Gemini. Oh my God. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Oh man, almost said the air signs. But Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, you don't have to be dealing with an air sign, but you, or excuse me, Lord. You do not have to be dealing with a fire sign, although you might be. Is that a spider? Am I looking over there and seeing a spider? I'm just going to ignore it for now. If it comes near me, I'm going to have to pause the video. But anyway, Queen of Wands. So self-possessed, feeling confident, feeling sexy, feeling very bossed up. I think you're feeling, and if it's not you, it could be someone else. It is a general, so please, take it with a grain of salt always. And it's a queen, it could be a male, you could be a man, it doesn't really matter. Okay, they're changing this. So that still remains, the general aspects of the Queen of Wands is someone who's confident, someone who is in control, someone who is quite an authority figure, or often takes on the helm of leadership and does so graciously or does so with tact. Okay, so those are the general background stories or background qualities of the Queen of Wands. But the other thing that they're giving me is like protection, 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 protection. Claiming what's yours, this is mine, that's yours, like separating things maybe. Or drawing a line in the sand, putting up boundaries. This is what belongs to me, or this is what I'm responsible for. Other people, they're responsible for this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? But it's solid. It's very solid. This Queen of Wands is a solid character. She's self-reliant, like I said before, self-possessed, or, able to, handle her own business. Why are you not focusing well? Come on, buddy. There you go. So being self-possessed, being in control of whatever pertains to you, let's say it that way, because I get the sense that you might have people right now, Virgo, trying to take chunks out of you, trying to take your time, taking away your possessions. They're telling me possessions. There might be a fight over, or a disagreement. Thank you. A disagreement over what belongs to whom, who's responsible for this, that, and the other. This is at home and this is at work. I'm feeling home and work, And okay, so if it's work or at home, that makes sense. Considering that many of us are on this social distancing thing, we're mandated by local governments or even the Fed if you're a government employee, where you are being relegated to your home, but you're still working. So there might be this kind of upheaval over, well, who's responsible for what. When you're in the office, it might blend a little bit, but there needs to be sort of like this hard and fast designation over what each individual who's being sent home has to take care of when they're working remotely, right? So that could be absolutely just head on the nose, like for the atmosphere for the time that's going on right now. Deeper than that, Virgo, this feels like you're not wanting to be responsible for anything other than what you have to be responsible for. I'm getting, like, again, this idea of possessions or ownership of things. I'm also getting this aspect of possessiveness. That's so interesting because the Queen of Wands can be that way. She can be sort of divisive in that way, or someone who segments off certain aspects of her life, or categorizes. Thank you. She can categorize things, right? So I'm really like getting, and I mean, this is sort of, your natural inclination. I am getting a sense of like a lot of organization, a lot of restructuring of what was ordered in one way before. Well, now because of XYZ factors, we have to rethink this whole thing and restructure everything. And again, going back to this issue dealing with coronavirus right now, which I guess is sort of taboo to talk about in tarot, but I'm going to talk about it because it's a reality. And I'm not talking about the disease. I'm talking about how we're having to cope with, the newness of it or the new scheduling of it. And that's literally what I think some of you are doing. You have to restructure your daily schedule because you've got kids who need to be in school, but they're out of school now. So, and I'm not a parent, so I don't know like what the state is mandated, what your states are mandating for your children, because this whole just send them home and educate them. I'm like, okay, based on what criteria? Each state is different and each school district is different, and not all parents, no offense, are equipped to educate their children. So I'm assuming it's a whole mess having to negotiate that and navigate that space. So if that's your experience right now, Virgo, that makes sense to me, that you would be in this Queen of Wands energy of, well, what am I responsible for? What are the rules? What are the parameters here? And you want to execute them well, right? So, and it's in the case of those where we're talking about either making sure your children are properly educated, that they don't fall behind in their schooling. I think I heard that so that was interesting. Florida's just going to graduate everybody. Like everybody's just going to move from one grade to the next, no matter when school resumes. I'm like, okay, Florida. But anyway, so this Queen of Wands is someone who's trying to be proactive, trying to be ahead of the game, and be on top of things. However, it's also protective. Like as much as you're allowing in the newness and wrestling with the newness of having to reroute your life or reorganize your day-to-day activities, you're also pushing things out. So maybe you're making judgment calls. Maybe you're making calls on what is prioritized. Thank you. What needs to be prioritized in the house or in your work. If you don't have kids, go ahead and, put that side of it away and think of it just how it applies to you and the people that you live with. If you live alone and it's just you and your 4 cats, great. You and Mr. Whiskers and Mr. Fluffy and all that stuff, you all got to get in on a new routine, So the Queen of Wands is very helpful because, she's someone who would want to get the job done and get it done right. And she's usually very tenacious. She's usually very accomplished and effective. So this is good. This is very good supportive energy. What else happens, please? Well, you've got some issues. Okay. So maybe the decisions you're making are ruffling other people's feathers, or there might be some tension in the household or tension regarding your workspace. If you're at home, but then other members of your team are in the office, there might be some miscommunication. There might be, hiccups in terms of just connecting through the networks and logging onto the system network and everything like that. But I get the sense that you're trying to stay balanced or calm in a situation or retain some type of control when outside of you, things are maybe not so in control. You've got, okay. Like I'm really getting given this idea of a crowded house, which makes sense. If most people are used to you going to work, your spouse or your roommates going to work, your family members, they also leave the house to do what they do during the day. The kids go to school, and now everybody's at home and everybody is piled on top of each other. It creates some type of chaos. It creates some type of chaos. So above your starting position, you have the 5 of Wands. Excuse me, the 5 of Wands. So you've got this disarray. You've got this clamoring and oh my God, with the card. Focus all the way, damn you. Wow, there we go. And then we pull it back a little bit. So 5 of Wands. So you've got this distable, dysfunctional, busy energy, right? I'm getting like sardines, like sardines in a can. Like you just can't get breathing room. You can't get to a place where it's calm and it's quiet. I'm getting the sense of like you or whoever this is, it could go vice versa. But there's someone, because of this quarantine thing, this social distancing thing, having to be at home 7 days a week practically. I'm getting the sense of people going stir crazy, of people getting cabin fever, you know what I mean? And wanting to not only just get out of the house, but like find some off time, find some downtime. And it's really difficult. You have all these different personalities as represented by these five different women. You have all these different personality types at one time under one roof. And it's just like too much at one time. It's too much at one time. So that's just, the energy that I'm getting. The more traditional understanding of the Five of Wands, Virgo, is competition. It is about conflict. It is about, disarray or some type of mild chaos, but it is surmountable. It is a short-lived energy. It's something that, you don't have to participate in, although oftentimes because of the circumstances and the situations we find ourselves in, it's hard to like step away. So I get that, especially if we're talking about living in close quarters with people right now. Now, for those, okay, thank you. For those where, okay, so the opposite also happens. So for those where you're not working at home, you still go to work, you're deemed essential, or your job is not one that, is presenting high risk of spreading the virus, something like that. But or at least in my job, let me just use this as an example. Like I think they didn't give us a percentage, but the majority of people at my job have gone home. Only a few are in the office. So those that remain in the office are having to sort of carry the weight or clean up the mess, so to speak, that's been left behind because so many people are out. So in my job, I don't think it's really that much. I think it would probably be more taxing on the managers. But as far as people on my level, I don't think it's much of a difference. But I'm just going to use that as an example. Maybe at your job, there is a component that requires a lot more hands-on, hands-on deck, so to speak. And so if the hands on deck are actually at home twiddling their thumbs or watching Netflix all day, not that, they could help it, those who have to report into work have to carry so much more of the load. And that could be what this Five of Wands is about, is that you're having to take on more responsibilities because other people simply can't, show up and do their job because of, mandates, because things are in quite a different space than they were, 2 months ago, right? Nobody was thinking in these terms 2 months ago, really. So this Five of Wands, Virgo, like I said, as compared to where you began with this Queen of Wands, could be you, could be someone else. Again, it's general, so if it's flipped, it's flipped. But whoever's in this Queen of Wands energy, they are not having the easiest time dealing with the Five of Wands chaos. I feel as though there's resentment, thank you. There's a resentment or a pessimism, maybe, or just a annoyance that this is going on. Now, if you got beef with a virus, I don't know what to tell you. You can't really do anything about it. I mean, you can if you, work in the medical field or anything like that, or you volunteer. Sure, you can do certain things like that. But, this whole thing is just going to be a matter of time and a matter of finding, a cure and treatment and making sure that, the spread is contained, right? So that takes time. So the fact that there's not a resolution right now is probably irritating to you, to say the least, right? And I kind of want to pull this away from the coronavirus or COVID-19 because, not all of us are being affected in the same way. Not all of us are, stuck in a house with like 4 or 5 other people and we can't get away. Some of us live alone or some of us live with one other person and it's pretty copacetic and there isn't that tension there. So if it's not centered around this moment in time, the current events of this moment in time, again, extract this and pull it back and put it in its proper perspective. Because yes, thank you. I'm always like sitting here wondering, like, how come I make certain transitions and then they I turn my eyes down to the board and I'm like, oh, that's why. So the reason I'm turning it away is because I'm getting the sense that this goes beyond, just having to stay at home, or this goes beyond having been put out of work for, the foreseeable. I think that this is, thank you. They're letting me know that these 10, okay. All right. Okay. So in some of your cases, Virgo, not all, clearly not all, in some of your cases, Virgo, this moment in time, being put out of work, working from home, having to be packed like sardines into your house, is now exacerbating issues that existed before now, or it's ramping them up. It's putting a magnifying glass on stuff that was displeasing to you or other people before anything happened regarding this virus, okay? So what I'm sensing is there was a bit of contention, or you've had trouble communicating with someone. Yes. You've had trouble communicating with someone, getting on the same page with someone. Thank you. King of Swords. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, air sign energy. You could be dealing with an air sign, but you don't have to be. This could be you. Take your pick. You know your story better than I do. But this King of Swords, I'm sensing has been hot and cold. This King of Swords has been copacetic and then really adversarial, has been your best friend and then your worst enemy, or, varying degrees between that. Yeah. This King of Swords, male or female, doesn't matter, has had moments where they're very open and expressive, and then other moments where they're clam shut and you can't get anything out of them. They turn into, no offense, they turn into like a mute, and they really have nothing to say, and you're kind of bewildered. And that really stinks, because I'm sensing this is someone very significant to you. These are not, a match, king and queen, in terms of suit, but they're both high in the court cards, right? They're the two masters. Kings and queens are the masters of their respective suits, right? So what I'm getting is that this king is very important to you. They could be your boss, they could be a coworker, they could be your spouse, they could be your best friend. It really doesn't matter the relationship, but this person. They're close to you. Let's say it that way. They're very close to you, and you depend on them. They depend on you. You guys have an interdependent relationship, or a working relationship that is integral to the success of a certain project. So you guys could be co-leads on a project, or co-leads on some research at your job, whatever it is. This person blowing hot and cold with you is not jiving at this moment. And it wasn't jiving before this moment. It's only now that it's sort of, like I said, ramping up, or it's being highlighted. It's being magnified so much because either one of you has to work from home, the other one still goes into the office, and it's hard to, be on the same page. Both of you, now, if this is a domestic thing, both of you are at home, and this is your husband or your wife, or, your live-in, whatever. And it's just like, oh man. So the issues that we were having in our relationship are now just brought to the forefront because we are with each other 24/7. And there's only so much square footage in this house. You know what I mean? So I get the sense that this person and this is very typical of the King of Swords, is pretty aloof, can easily be involved, just as easily can be detached. And it's their own discernment. It's their choosing, and it's deliberate, they say. They say that this is deliberate. The way that this person is behaving, the way that they're speaking or not speaking, and when and where they speak and what they say, all of it's very deliberate. This is a very calculated person. I'm not getting like manipulation, so to speak, but I'm getting purposeful. The way that this person is being is purposeful. And to what end, I don't know. What's their scheme? What's their end game? I don't know. But they're masterful. So take that into account. They're masterful, okay? Like I said, the kings and queens are the masters of their suit. So the king here is very masterful in terms of communication and getting across certain messages or ideas, and would, like I said, under the guise or the cloak or the cloud of aloofness, something is happening, and you might be sitting there wondering, how come this person is not talking, or how come this person isn't saying what they really feel, or you may have expected them to react a certain way and they don't react that way, they react an opposite way, and you're kind of like scratching your head and you're like, what's going on with this person? I don't know. I can't tell you. All I know is they do it on purpose and they have their own goal in mind. Take that with a grain of salt. Take that in whatever way you want. I'm not sure that because I said blows hot and cold, is your best friend and then turns into your mortal enemy almost. I don't know what kind of relationship that is. I don't know what you're meant to get out of that or who they are to you and how important they are to you. But I would say be cautious. I would say be cautious because, thank you. If you're looking to, like I said, be productive with the Queen of Wands, if it's you, again, this can be vice versa, okay? Whoever the Queen of Wands is, if you're looking to get a job done, if you're looking to get things accomplished and be effective and be proactive, the King of Swords is sometimey right now. Sometimes they agree with your methodology or your approach or your goal. Other times they're like a wrench in the plans. It's so strange, and you can't really call it. I want to be out of that because, it's more of like I want to be out of it because I could go on forever with this back and forth energy that I feel is coming from the King of Swords. And it's maddening in like the 2 minutes that I've talked about this card, that I've talked about this energy. It's very like, it's confusing as hell. And I don't want to, because we have to move on. But this person right now, they're just they're up to something that I couldn't even begin to understand. And maybe like they're a mad genius or something. Like maybe they have a brilliant plan or a brilliant idea or something amazing to bring to the table in your scenario, in your situation with them, Virgo. But I can't touch it. I have no idea what it is. This could be them as well. Knight of Swords beneath. Again, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy, air sign energy. This could be them as well. This could be that erratic energy that I'm feeling, the quick in and out or the on and off of what I was talking about with the King of Swords. The Knight of Swords is definitely known to do that. Definitely known to be impulsive, definitely known to act quickly, sometimes act rashly or speak without thinking first, and that might be going on. So that might be the one side of this person. And actually, okay, they're reminding me, if I put this down here, and the way that I read my cards is almost symmetrical. Sometimes I usually draw connection. So if we have the Knight of Swords here, on both sides of the Knight of Swords, you have the Five of Wands and the Knight of Swords, right? Those are two cards of potential chaos. Those are two cards that are showing some type of lack of peace, let's say, lack of calm, lack of tranquility or serenity. There's always something stirring. There's always something to do. There's always something to say. There's always somewhere to go. And to plug it back into current events, if someone is used to being out and about, running errands every day, going to work every day, picking the kids up from school, coming home and doing XYZ, if someone is used to going, traveling throughout their day, but they're literally stuck in 2,000 square feet a day, or God forbid, like 900 square feet if you're living like a studio or something, whatever. If this person is used to actual physical movement, because you've got wands and you have swords, two masculine energies usually shows some type of movement, progression. If this person is forced to be still, they would act out, essentially, is what this feels like. Could be a child. I mean, there's no pages here. No, there's no pages, so it doesn't have to be a small child, but it can be like a teenager or a young adult. If you are older in your 50s or 60s, but your adult children live with you, this could be one of your kids. They're so used to, going out after work, meeting up with friends at happy hour, going out to the movies, doing whatever, hitting the gym, and now they can't do any of that, and they're stuck at home, and there's only so many times you can play the same video games over and over again. This person is restless. Let's say it that way. The simplest way, this person is restless. And the shitty part of it, Virgo, is you've got two swords cards here, which indicates that this person is not only restless, they can talk themselves into some trouble, or they can say some words that are pretty biting to you as a way to let off steam, as a way to alleviate their stress. They might, bite your head off. Hey, who finished the milk? I finished the milk. Is there a fucking problem? I wanted cereal this morning for breakfast, and you're saying I can't have cereal for breakfast? Why are you bitching about the milk? And da-da-da. And you're just like, I just wanted to know who finished the milk. That's all. No, nobody needs to get all clammed up or get into a clamor here over some milk. You know what I mean? So they might start fights that don't need to be started, petty fighting with the Five of Wands. They might fight over the smallest things. And again, it's exacerbated because of close quarters, or at least the changing of schedules. If it's not, everybody has to be at home at the same time. If you guys are taking turns going out and, taking a walk around the block, doing whatever, this has been going on, but now it's like really coming to a head. It's really ramping up. It's really intensifying here. And this, like going back here, the Knight of Swords is an intense character. Speaks first, asks questions later, acts first, then considers the consequences. It's like potentially like very little forethought. In some cases, in some smaller cases, like a few of your cases, people are doing this deliberately because it's something to do. Some people like that. Some people like to stir the pot just to have something to do. So I don't know who this person is to you, because that is unquestionable to me that this person is significant. They're a great friend. They're your colleague at work. They're your business partner. They're your life partner, whatever. They're your child or your parent. It's very significant, this relationship. So you navigating it, like I said here, it's like you're letting certain things in, but you're also having to block or protect yourself in other types of ways. Wow, interesting. So what else is happening? Well, people are upset. Yep, that's interesting too. All right, so you're stressed, Virgo, or whoever the Queen of Wands is. I feel this person is like that. Nine of Swords, stressed, not sleeping well, maybe having, a bout of insomnia, anxious, depressed, maybe, a few depressed, but ultimately worried and not knowing what to do or how to get out of the situation, or how to remedy the situation. Not to get out, but how to remedy the situation, how to fix it. How do I fix this? How do I alleviate the feeling or the tension that's going on right now in my relationship with blank, whoever they are to you, right? And you're kind of at your wit's end. Nine of Swords, okay? So that's about your mental space, how you communicate, how you rationalize the world, how you problem solve, right? You're at your wit's end. You've tried everything. You've tried to placate them. You've tried to appease them. You've tried to negotiate with them. You've tried to find compromise, bribery in some cases. Oh my God. That's interesting. But there's 9 different swords up above this person's bed, right? So you've tried at least 9 different ways to get this person to calm down, or to get them to see reason, or you've tried to change something on your end. Maybe I was being intolerant. Maybe I wasn't being compassionate enough. Whatever. You've tried. You racked your brains. And you feel like there's nothing you can do, or this situation won't find relief until something else changes. So until that time, all you can do is suffer through it, basically. Until people are allowed to go back to work, my kid is just going to be staying with me 24/7. And, it was already hard raising them when they were a teenager. Now that they're, an adult, or whatever it is, like the temperament. Thank you. It could be a matter of, you and this person's temperament in close quarters is very volatile. Could be that, right? Because the Queen, and let me tell you something, the Queen of Wands is no slouch. Whoever the Queen of Wands is no slouch. This person is just as viable or just as capable of being fierce and being, you know, solid. Like I said, I did say that before, solid and strong, just as much as the King of Swords. Neither of these energies are wallflowers. I'm going to say that. So when you have two, maybe it's two type A's, that could be a problem. If you and your partner, or you and your kid, or you and your business partner, your colleague at work are both two type A's, but now that, you know, the routine, the daily routine has shifted in some type of way, has been altered in some type of way, it becomes harder to either let go of the control or allow someone else to take control, or vice versa, whatever it is. And so you kind of are spinning your wheels. Someone here is spinning their wheels, not able to come up with a remedy, not able to come up with a solution. Everything you've tried has turned to shit. Everything you tried has been rejected. This could be your boss. You know, I want you to start doing XYZ from home. And you're kind of like, I normally do that in the office and I don't really have the supplies or the support that I need here at home. So let me try and essentially jerry-rig something together. Let me try and MacGyver some type of solution. And you present your presentation, or you present the product or the solution to your boss. And they're kind of like, well, I don't know. What else couldn't you do? And you're like, but wait a minute. You didn't really properly evaluate or tell me what I did wrong the first time. So this person can confuse you. That's another thing with the Nine of Swords. You could be, okay, you could be confused. And the reason why is because this person is confusing. Quick transition. That's one of my quickest transitions ever, I think. Moon card, primary major arcana for Pisces. Some of you could be dealing with a Pisces, but you don't have to be. This person is confusing because they are confused. This person is beguiling to you because they beguile themselves. There's a lot of mystery around this person in terms of their emotions, you know, because the moon is associated with our emotions, and Pisces being a water sign, again, deeply emotional, right? And that could be it. This person is going through something deeply emotionally, something deep emotionally right now, and you might not know it because, again, they're not always the most expressive, right? They could be in some type of panic. I don't know. There's a whole list of rhymes and reasons because you're all dealing with different individuals, different people, different circumstances. But what is happening is they're not giving you any insight. That's the other thing about this. This moon card is not one of revelation most of the time. So you have questions, they're giving you no answers. You might ask them directly, what can I do to make this situation better for the both of us? What am I not doing enough of? How can I help you here? And they might not say a damn word to you. There can be silence when we come to the moon card. Not always. Excuse me. Oh my God, excuse me. Apologize about that, Virgo. Got something kind of caught in my throat there for a second. So you might ask this person directly, how can I help the situation? What can I do to make this better? And they offer you nothing or very little in response. They might give you, you know, pardon me, when you ask someone, hey, what's wrong? They might hit you with a nothing. Nothing's wrong. I'm fine. And isn't that like irritating? Oh my God, one second. All right, Virgo, I apologize about that. Clearly, well, not clearly, but possibly, let's say possibly, if, you know, you see how like my throat chakra got a little clammed up there and like I was set into a coughing spell. You know, there's something about the aspect of speaking and being clear in communication is not this person's forte at the moment. Maybe it's never been, I don't know. But in the moment now, I feel that this person is operating from a place of careful, designed, or what do you call that? Designed, but curated ways of speaking, curated ways of communicating. And I feel there's like smoke screens. fighting over the milk or fighting over things that are petty with the Five of Wands is meant to distract you from something, is meant to call your attention to something else than what is really going on, or what's really the concern of them, or what's really the core of the situation between you. Because the other aspect of the the moon card, the other aspect of the moon card is secrets, lies, and or just some idea of facade. You can't always trust what you see by the light of the moon. I used to say this sometime last year, very often when I encountered the moon card. Think of it. If you're looking for something out in the woods, right? Or out on the street or wherever, and the only light, no street lights, no flashlights, no cell phone light, no anything, right? The only light that you have to see by is the moon. Can you trust it? Yes, it's illuminated, and yeah, there's, you can have some type of vision, sometimes with the light of the moon, but there's a lot more shadow as opposed to when you see things under the light of the sun, right? So there is always something kind of missing or shadowy when we talk about the moon card. Things are murky and unclear. And I feel as though that is by design. This person doesn't want you to know, again, going, it's a sign of the times and I can't really avoid it. And it will be relative to many of you. This thing with having to be quarantined, some of you might be thinking, do I have a job to come back to? This could be your boss. I don't know what your industry is. I don't know what your job title is or anything like that. But some of you are sitting at home wondering, when all this blows over and things clear up and people can go back to work and everything is, kind of reset, will I have a job to go back to? You might ask your boss point blank, what's going on with the business? What's going on with my position? Am I going to be compensated? Da, 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 da. And they're like blowing smoke in some cases, blowing hot and cold. They might bite your head off. Why would you think that you don't have a job to come back to? Obviously, Virgo, you're going to have a job to come back to. Argumentative. For the sake of confusion, for the sake of, again, drawing your attention to something else, then what the real issue is behind the curtain is maybe this person is in a severe, as a business owner, if this is your boss, many here in the States at least, but I would assume in almost every other country that's severely affected, would be running into issues like, how am I going to keep my business afloat if I don't have people working, if my doors aren't open, if I can't get customers in the door or clients and all that other kind of stuff, right? So you cannot get a clear answer from this person by design. That's how they want it. That's how it's going to be. You're over here racking your brains with the Nine of Swords, trying to figure it out. What can I do to alleviate the stress of the situation? How can I get to a clear answer from my boss? And they're just not going to give it to you. They're just not. And no matter what the relationship is, no matter how it affects you or what area it's pertaining to, this is this person's move, and it's a very calculated move. It's very quote unquote brilliant, because I don't think many of you have caught on to it yet. And if you have caught on, again, you're still tied in some type of way to the scenario. I've been working here for the past 8 years, and it's not like I can go out and apply for another job because all other businesses are shut down too. You see what I mean? So you're in a bind with this person. If you're committed to them in terms of your business, if you're committed to them, if you guys are family members, it's not like you're going to disown somebody because they have to live with you and they, finish the milk and you were looking to eat some Fruity Pebbles this morning. It's, you see what I mean? It's like you can't make a clean break from them. And I don't think that you necessarily want to, Virgo. I think it's a matter of, I just want things to be on the up and up, because there's a certain integrity that the Queen of Swords the Queen of Wands is coming with. There's a resoluteness. There's a desire to just get it done. What are we doing here? What is the purpose of doing this, that, or the other? Are we moving in this direction, or are we moving in that direction? The Queen of Wands is capable of accomplishing whatever she wants to, male or female, there's no gender. But this energy says, I'm capable, I'm confident, I'm ready. But if you're not given the proper instructions or the proper tools or resources to get the job done, or if you're not told information that is reliable, if you're shut out of certain conversations, or you're removed from certain facts, or certain facts are not given to you, what can you do? You're tied. Here and here, you're tied. And maybe that's the nature of your relationship. You guys are tied. Could be married, could be business partners, like I said, could be family members. and for the foreseeable, for some of you, this is your employer that you're speaking with over the phone or through email or whatever it is in the middle of this crisis. And they don't have a clear answer because they don't have a clear answer themselves. Remember, one of the first things, as I said, is that this person, they are perpetrating the energy that they live in. They are perpetrating the energy that they're aware of and functioning in at this moment. Confusion, murkiness, uncertainty, delusion, and illusion. And it comes from a deeply emotional place, an emotionally volatile place, or just a place that has deep emotions, meaning a multitude, a myriad amount of things they're feeling at one time. If you're a business owner, you're worried about yourself, you're worried about your family, you're worried about your employees, right? You're worried about what you're going to do if you own a brick and mortar, right? How am I going to pay the rent? How am I going to pay the lease to keep the doors open when it's time to go back to work? Oh my God, all the vendors that I had, all the clients. So you're worrying about a multitude of different people, all the different responsibilities. And that's worry, anxiety, panic, frustration, anger. All of that belongs to them. Listen, and I don't think I'm telling you anything that you don't know. So let's just go ahead and move on. Your outcome, again, maybe count yourselves lucky because they gave you this double. You have the Queen of Cups and the Seven of Cups. Water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Could be dealing with a water sign, but you don't have to be. As an outcome, Virgo. This is feeling like indulgence a little bit. This is feeling like okay. Showing decisiveness, showing dedication or commitment to something while not necessarily being committed. Okay? Queen of Cups can be committed, loyal, heartfelt, or heart forward, just heart centered, we'll say. Doting, nurturing, very kind. And I don't know if this is you. I don't know if it's someone else in the mix. I'm just going to read this as whomever, right? You may be close with this person now. You might not be. I don't know. But it feels like somebody who, like I said, is dedicated and aware of and works well with their emotional state, is nurturing, is sympathetic, maybe even empathetic. But you've got that Seven of Cups and right next door, which adds a complication. This person might have options. That's one of the quickest ways that we interpret the Seven of Cups is having options. This person might have an issue with fidelity. And the strange, okay, this is a very specific example, but I'm trying to illustrate what I find to what I'm connecting to is that someone's logic, someone's rationale, having options, right? But being dedicated to each individual option, meaning I think that this person takes their relationship seriously, whether it's familial ties, whether it's business ties, whether it's, dating scenarios, whatever it is. They appreciate and honor and want to be true and loyal to each individual. However, sometimes that's really hard to do. For an example, let's say this person was a mother or a father. Let's say a father because, again, there's no gender. So let's say this is a father. And in this, stay-at-home situation where the kids are home 24/7 and you've got 2 kids or 3 kids or 16 kids, it doesn't matter. If you want to be nice to all of the kids at all of the times and placate all of the children at all of the times, indubitably or inevitably, thank you, inevitably, that can't work because those kids will not get along with each other. So this could come down to this person having, as the parent, as the father, right? You've got 3 kids and two want to play with one toy at one time, and one kid doesn't want to play at all. They just want to be left alone. What is the solution? I'm not a parent, so I'm not coming in with any type of, know-how or authority here. But this person would want to please all three simultaneously. How could you do that? Well, okay, little Timmy, you have to play with the toy truck for 5 minutes, and then you pass it on to little Susie, and then she gets to play for 5 minutes, and then you guys rotate that throughout the day, 5 minutes with the little toy truck. Little little uh, little Rashida, just to, everybody's included here, okay? Little Rashida or little Raul, whatever. You don't want to play with anybody? Okay, you can go to your room and you can stay there all day. That works for like, what, a half hour? And then eventually the toy truck isn't the thing anymore. Now somebody wants to eat lunch and it's like 10 a.m. and somebody else refuses to eat lunch. Like, it's constantly having to negotiate with people with responsibilities and wanting to get it right. The options. I have to do all of these things the right way, but some things need to be sacrificed. Thank you. When the Seven of Cups comes out, it really talks about sacrifice, because this is like, I have so many options, or I have so many relationships that need to be navigated. But I did mention that word earlier, and I think I was mentioning it in relation to the Queen of Wands, prioritizing. The Queen of Cups plus the Seven of Cups, awful at prioritizing. Awful. Just not good. Not good at all, right? So this person, as much as they might love and care, whether they're a father, a mother, a sister, a brother, an employer, could be the employer, who knows, whatever this person is or whoever they are in combination, great heart, wonderful, intention, poor execution, right? This person would be very hard pressed to make hard calls, to make, hard line judgment calls and stick to them. So this is the person who, when they go to punish their children for doing a bad deed, right? Oh, you weren't sharing, so, that's a timeout in the quiet corner. That's a timeout. Go to your room. And then the kid sneaks back downstairs like 2 minutes later and resumes playing. And this person is just like, okay, all right. They're not firm. This is, I don't know who this is in this whole scenario. I don't know who this is. It could be the King of Swords. It could be tied to the emotional side of the King of Swords. But I dare not speculate too much. I think that applies for those where that sounded like someone or someone who's significant to this storyline. You already get it. And it's not for me to interpret, really. Girl, what's the overall energy? Lord, what are we talking about this whole time? Four of Cups. Dismayed and disillusioned and uninspired by what is being offered to you right now. The situation at hand, the people that you're dealing with, the capability that you bring to the table, the capabilities that other people bring to the table, whatever. It is dissatisfying. It is not inspiring. It is not exciting. It is absolutely below par. It's not even up to snuff. When we get to the Four of Cups, we are, what's that word? Apathetic. Thank you. We're apathetic about what we're being offered or what's being presented to us, or we show up with an apathetic energy. So it could be down, again, to just the circumstances at hand, the scenarios that is playing out for most of us right now with COVID-19 coronavirus at this time. But like I said, and I meant it, and I'm going to say it again because I know it's true. I feel it. This whole little spiritual uptick that I got over the last Mercury retrograde, I feel like freaking Popeye out here on spinach. I'm telling you, this has existed before this moment. The uncertainty of the situation, the possible lack of commitment, or the smoke and mirrors that someone's playing, your resoluteness, you're wanting to get, your head above water in the situation and get to some type of resolution point. All of that tone and those capabilities and those specificities have existed. It's only right now it's being highlighted with it's just like a highlighted marker, magnifying glass up on the jumbo screen. You can't miss it. And it's displeasure, or it's displeasing, I should say. It's displeasing how hard it is to get these wheels moving in the right direction, so to speak, okay? Virgo, that is your reading for mid-March. If it helped you at all, if it resonated at all, please go ahead and drop a like down below, leave a comment, let me know how this worked out in your life or what's going on. If you care to share that information, that'd be great. If you want to share the video, let other people know that you're watching my stuff and you like it. And I mean, this is the perfect time to share things with people because most people are watching things on YouTube or Netflix all day. So go ahead and share. If you have not subscribed, if you're the first time viewer or you keep coming back and you like my stuff, go ahead and subscribe. That way you can see when I actually upload everything, okay? All right, guys. Again, if you want to see me over on IG, that's EmpathicFire Tarot. Over on IG, go ahead and hit me up over there. Go ahead and, join up or follow me or whatever the hell it's called. Following. It's called following over there. I'm not that old, so become a follower. If you choose to, information on how to get a reading is down in the description box. Virgo, I'll be back very soon with the April overviews, and then I'll be going and doing the mid-Aprils as well. I'm thinking about creating new content for the channel. I just got to figure out what it is or why I'm doing it. Spirit's going to work with me in that way. And once all that's out there, if you're subscribed, you'll be the first to know. So please remember to do that if you are so inclined, okay? Virgo, I thank you guys so much for watching this video today. Take care.